Hey guys, it's Dragonis. Today I'm going to show you how to make 3D cover artworks for your music, especially this one. I'm not going to explain everything about Blender, but I'll explain all the technique and stuff. So let's get right into it. So first, go to this website called cgtrader.com. It basically gives you like 3D models. Type in sculptures and select the free ones, so you don't have to pay anything. You can of course use the paid ones. I don't really care. But here you have a lot of nice sculptures to choose from. Another website is 3dscans.com. So for this one, I'm going to use this dragon thing I found. I'm just going to download it. There's the STL format. It's usually in OBJ, but it works as well. So let's import the STL in Blender. Select the file and import it. So here we got the lion dragon thing. I'm just going to position the camera by Control 0. Gonna position the lion nicely. Then I'm gonna add a plane, press S10 to scale it. Then I'm gonna press tab and go into edit mode. I'm gonna select one of the edges and press extrude and Z. Then press the corner. I'm gonna press Control B to bevel it behind the lion. Scale it a bit. I'm gonna add some lights. Gonna position them to the side of the lion. I'll make the power 300. I'll press Shift D to duplicate it. And yeah, just position another light somewhere. I don't know really where, but like just somewhere. Yeah, this seems nice, yeah. Alright, so press Z and go into render view. If you have a graphics card, you can go into edit and preferences, systems, and then turn on the graphics card. Make sure to turn on GPU compute in the scene options. Now the scene will render a lot faster because it's using the graphics card and not the CPU. Now we're going to add a material to the dragon. So go into the shader editor. Now that's a texture editor. Yeah, that's shader editor. We're going to click new. We're going to make the lion a bit less rough. Add a color ramp and plug into the base color. We're going to select two colors. One's probably going to be like a cyan bluish, and then the other one's going to be a bit pinkish. Then I'm going to add a separate XYZ. Plug in the Z to the factor. And press Ctrl T and delete the image one. We're going to put the mapping vector to the separate XYZ, and we'll put the object to the vector of the mapping. Now just mess with the Z location to find the part where the pink and blue intersects. Now we're going to go back to the color ramp and press the plus sign to add an extra color. We're going to make that color a bit purplish. Go back to the mapping node and make the Z scale like smaller, like 0.1. And we're going to mess with it to find the intersection again. And you can see like there's this purplish color in between the pink and cyan. Turn down the roughness a bit. Alright, so for the background, we're going to do the same thing, make it less rough, and we're going to find another color for it. Maybe like a bluish, purplish. Yeah, this looks nice. So you see how there's this light thing in the background just reflecting. We're just going to move the light a bit to the back so it doesn't, reflect into the camera. Yeah, I just set it up nicely. Alright, so it doesn't show in the background now. So see how in Tribal Trap, they use like this sort of square thing in their cover arts most of the time. It's like this neon thing. We're going to try to replicate it. We're going to press Shift A to add a new object, add a torus, and then we're going to go make it major segments 4 and the minor radius 0.1. Actually, that's a bit too big, so we're going to make it 0.05. Press RZ45 to, rotate it on the Z-axis. I'm going to rotate it by 90 degrees on the X-axis and scale it up. I'm gonna press tab and select all the faces. We press Alt S to make it a bit smaller. Yeah, that looks nice. I'm gonna move it a bit forward. Make it a bit smaller. Yeah, that's nice. Now we're gonna make it emissive. So press new and search for emission. And plug in the service, increase the strength. And we're gonna make it a pinkish color. We're gonna move it a bit to the back by grabbing it with G and then move it on the y-axis. Just move it to the back. Yeah, that's nice. I'm gonna make it a bit smaller again because I think it's too big. Come on. Come on. It's a bit too small. What the fuck? I guess I'll just add a modifier. I'm gonna make it solidify. Make it 0.02 and now it's thick again. Yay. Alright, I'm gonna press Shift D and duplicate the thing. Move it to the back and make it a bit larger. I'm gonna select both of them and just scale it down a bit. Alright, this looks pretty nice, pretty nice. I'm just gonna mess with the solidify modifier a bit. Alright, I'm gonna select the front light and make it 500 power. I'll make the color a bit bluish. I'll make the dragon's color a bit darker blue and then make it a darker purple. And make the pink a bit more saturated. Keep it actually a bit more purplish, looks nicer. Make the blue a bit darker. Alright, perfect. We'll zoom in a bit with the camera and yeah, that's pretty nice. So, so as you can see on my Instagram account, which you should follow by the way, we have this broken sort of statue thing, and then this one has these streaks vertically. And then my favorite is this one with you know, like it's cut apart and then sliced. So I'll show you how to do them. So first, let's make a new collection and put the dragon in the new collection. We're gonna duplicate the dragon 3 times. Alright, select the second and third dragon together and just drag them to like one side, and then select the first dragon and drag it to the other side. Alright, then I'm just gonna take a cube and then I'm gonna, you know, put the dragon into 3 cubes. And press 1. And just fit the dragon like inside the cube. Scale it down. Then we're gonna go into object properties and viewport display, and then we're gonna put these cubes display as wired. This way we can see through them. And then we're just gonna select the dragon, and we're gonna select the modifier and boolean. We're gonna select the intersect and just, you know, select the cube. So what this does is basically make the intersection between the dragon and cube be the part where the dragon, you know, appears in. So this one I selected wrong, I selected playing. Okay, here's the cube. And now we can see like this dragon is cut up into 3 different parts. And render view, we see fucking cubes because I didn't turn this off. So yeah, just turn the cubes off in the viewport. The data is still there. And yeah, this is pretty cool. You can see how the dragon is like, you know, sliced up into 3 parts. Move it a bit. You can also do this vertically, as you can see. Yeah, it looks nice. Finally, I'm going to show you how to do this, like this broken apart statue thing. It's actually pretty simple. go to preferences and then select add-ons and then type self fracture. Make sure it's turned on. So we're going to press F3 while selecting dragon and just select the self fracture. There's a lot of stuff to go over, but basically know that the source limit is the amount of pieces there are going to be. All right, press OK. And now the dragon has been cut up into like over 100 parts. We're going to hide the original dragon. Keep it there just in case we need it. Now we're going to select all these cells. Click on the collection and select objects. All right, we're going to go into top side. We're going to select individual origins. And then just scale the dragon, like the pieces down. You can see how it's like sort of broken apart, kind of. Alright, so you kind of fucked up the colors. So we're going to go back into the material of the dragon. We're going to put the texture coordinate from camera to vector. And then the separate XYZ, we're going to use Y instead of Z. I don't know why, it just kind of works. And then we just tweak the Y coordinate now. Yeah, this looks better, this intersection. I'm going to scale the objects again, just make the head a bit bigger. Alright, then we're going to use the proportional editing top here. And we're going to drag one of the pieces to the side. So what it does is it's going to drag all the pieces along with it. You can like select the strength using the mouse wheel. So the bigger the strength, it's going to pull more objects to the side with it. I'm going to drag this to the other side. And yeah, you can see how this like it sort of scatters the cells apart. Now what I'm going to do is I'm put a light, point light inside the dragon. So I'm going to select the cursor. We're just going to put a point light inside the dragon. Make sure to turn off the proportional editing. You can see the light. I'm going to turn the light pink. Alright, this looks pretty cool, I think. Just going to drag it down to the middle a bit. Just tweaking it a bit. So when rendering, make sure the resolution is 3000 by 3000 because that's the usual resolution for cover artworks. And render, I usually use 200 to 400 samples. And make sure the denoising is open image denoise because optics crashes a lot. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And then we're just going to render the image out. Alright, so here we got the render image. We're going to do one final thing before saving it is go to the compositing. And we're going to turn on nodes. We're going to Shift A and add a viewer node. And then we're going to add a glare node and just plug those into the image. And this will give the render a bit of glow. So we're going to turn the glare from streaks to fog glow. And to view the whole thing here, you're going to go to the rendering tab and then you're going to go to the viewer node. So here you can see it's a bit too bloomy. So we're going to turn it down a bit. We're going to turn down the size a bit and then just increase the threshold to like 3, 4. And yeah, this looks a lot better now. I'm going to turn the threshold to like 5. And now we're just going to press the image and we're just going to save this image somewhere. Alright, so now we render this. We're going to edit it in Photoshop. So first off, I'm just going to duplicate this thing. So in case we mess up anything, we can go back to the original render. So first off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a filter and I'm going to add some noise. Just select the amount that you want. I'm probably going to go somewhere between 8 to 10%. It doesn't show up a lot, but it makes the image kind of like, I wouldn't say photorealistic, but yeah, it kind of does. Alright, next up, I'm going to add a brightness and contrast adjustment. Just going to tweak it a bit and make it brighter and more contrasty. Next up, we're going to go to Google and we're going to download one of these dust overlay things. Doesn't matter too much. I'm going to just drag mine and I'm going to make it big and I'm just going to make the compositing screen and lower the opacity. Now you can see there's some like dust imperfections on the image and it kind of looks cool. It also makes it a bit brighter. Then I'm gonna add some scratches. Same thing, make a screen and then lower the opacity or the fill, both work. And finally, I'm gonna add one more dust layer because why not? I'm bored. And perfect. This looks like a crappy photo now. I'm gonna also make the original render a bit bigger. Since it's 3000 times 3000, it really quality doesn't matter too much, even if I zoom it. We're gonna add a hue saturation adjustment layer, and we're gonna add a color balance adjustment layer. And we're just gonna make it a bit more saturated and just tweak it a bit. You can also mess with the hue if you find a better color scheme. For the color balance, we're gonna make the shadows a bit more cooler, make it a bit more bluish. And then for the midtones, we're gonna make it a bit more magenta. Highlights, we wanna make it pop. So we're gonna make it, you know, more saturated magenta and red. All right, nice. Mess with the contrast a bit still. Then we're gonna add a selective color. We're gonna go to the cyans because like I feel like the cyan bluish color doesn't really feel too good in this picture. So we're just gonna mess around with it a bit. Yeah, make it a bit darker. Seems nice. Then blues. Maybe make it a bit darker or find a better color. Yeah, maybe make it like less bluish or more bluish. I don't really know. I mean, it's fine. And then just mess around with the magentas a bit. Yeah, make it pop. And as you can see, when we compare the original with the adjustment layers, it really makes a difference. Finally, I'm gonna add curves and I'm gonna make the image more contrasty by doing this like kind of like slope thing. And then I'm gonna add an extra layer. I'm gonna press Shift F5. Make sure the contents are 50% gray and the opacity is 10%. And press OK. And sort of like it kind of cancels out the curves, but at the same time, it sort of brings out the colors a bit, like a contrast layer. Now I'm gonna add some text, and I don't really know what to type, so I just type Big Dick Energy. Sounds like a pretty dope track name, if you ask me. Like I would name my track Big Dick Energy if I had a good track. All right, so I'm just gonna mess around with this blending options a bit. Add some stroke so the text pops out, and maybe a drop shadow. Just like it really doesn't matter what you do here now. I'm gonna add my logo here, and probably just copy paste the stroke and drop shadow. There's this weird box thing. I'm just gonna use the eraser tool to delete that. All right, and I think the stroke is a bit too strong, so make it a bit more less opaque. And yeah, this is perfect. I think perfect cover. Well, not really. If you want to be more aesthetic, you can add like get a smoke brush, like I do here, like a proper good thick smoke brush, and make the mode screen. I'm just gonna paint slightly over the lower edge, lower border and top border of the image, just to add a bit of extra vibe. Just lower the opacity of the layer. I'm just gonna export it, and yeah, this is you can consider this done. But we still have one more step that I'd like to go over with. So touching up the image, like this is pretty good, but I'm gonna open this thing called Polar Photo Editor. I'm just gonna edit the image a bit. It's like an Instagram filter thing, but I don't know, it's pretty nice. I like to edit the vibrance and saturation here, just to see if I can get like really small touches to make this image look a bit nicer. So yeah, I'm just seeing if any of these options like make a difference to the image or make it better. Kind of want to make the whites a bit whiter and make the black a bit darker. Clarity, you can, try mess around with that. Doesn't really matter. And then there's vignette. A small amount is usually pretty nice. And then there's this cool option called fringing. It has this like RGB effect. Yeah, it's really nice. I'm not gonna do too much though, because it can really hurt your eyes. Just a little bit. Then a little bit of grain. As you can see, it just makes the image grainy. I don't know how to explain it better. A bit less fringing. And yeah, I think it's pretty good. It's pretty good. So I export this. So now we can compare the before and after version of it. So here's before, here's after. There's not a lot of difference, but I like the vignette and the really small amount of fringing that this image has. But yeah, this is pretty much it. Thanks for watching, and let me know if you like these longer tutorials. Also comment down below if you want me to show you how to, animate your cover artworks like this. Just comment down below if you want it. Yeah? Okay. Alright, cool. Thanks. Bye.